Marking and cutting of fabric for Pinafore Bib. As we have constructed the pattern for a Pinafore Bib, we will now see how to mark and cut the pattern on fabric. At the end of this session, you will be able to mark pattern of Pinafore Bib on fabric, cut the fabric along the drafted lines. Let's first familiarize with the tools and materials required for marking and cutting pattern of a Pinafore Bib on fabric. They are 15 inches or half meter of uniform fabric, L square or tailor's square, tailor's chalk, measuring tape, and shears. Let's see how to mark the pattern of Pinafore Bib on fabric. From the selvage edge, along the cut edge, measure half of the shoulder width, which is 6 inches, and make a mark. But here we are taking 6.5 inches since the selvage is thick, so we don't use it for drafting. Hold on to this mark and fold the fabric lengthwise over. Ensure that the selvage edge is parallel to the fold. Before we continue, let us check if the double folded cut edge is at a right angle, and if not, we will correct it right now with the help of a pattern square. The point where the cut edge and the fold meet is point 1. From point 1, measure the front length including seam allowance of 11.5 inches and make a mark. This is point 0. From point 0, draw a right angle line to the fold. This is the shoulder line. From point 0, measure half of the shoulder width, which is 6 inches along the shoulder line, and make a mark. This is point 2. From point 2, measure 3.25 inches towards the fold and make a mark. This is point 3. From point 2, draw a right angle line for about halfway into the bodice. And from point 3, draw a right angle line for about halfway into the bodice. From point 2, measure 1/4 inch down and make a mark. This is point 4. Connect points 3 and 4 in a straight line. From point 0, measure 1/6 of the waist circumference, which is 4 1/8 inch, along the fold and make a mark. This is point 5. From point 5, draw a right angle line until it meets the line drawn down from point 2. The point where these two lines meet is point 8. The point where this line meets the line drawn from point 3 is point 7. From point 8, measure 3/4 inch towards the fold and make a mark. This is point 9. Join points 4 and 9 in a straight line. From point 7, measure 3/4 inch towards the fold and make a mark. This is point 10. Connect points 3 and 10 in a straight line. From point 5, measure 1 inch upward and make a mark. This is point 6. From point 6, draw a right angle line until it meets the slanted line as shown here. From point 1, measure 1/4 of the waist circumference, which is 5.5 inches, along the cut edge and make a mark. This is point 11. Then from point 11, measure 1 inch towards the fold. This is point 12. Join points 9 and 12 in a straight line. Thus we have completed the marking of Pinafore back bib. Now let's see how to cut the back bib. Starting from point 12, cut up to the shoulder. Again, starting from point 6, cut along the back neck opening till the shoulder. Then cut along the shoulder line. Snip a little corner off at the waistline fold. Thus we have finished cutting the pinafore back bib. Next, we will make a copy of the back bib. For that, fold the fabric over along the lengthwise grain. Place the cut back bib over the folded fabric. Ensure that it has the same width. Now cut close to the back bib all around, but be careful not to cut inside it. Snip a little corner off at the waistline fold. Thus we have finished cutting the pinafore front bib. Now take the first drafted back bib and cut along the front neck opening. Now we have a front bib and a back bib for the pinafore. Next, we will see how to cut the fabric for the front and back neckline facing. For that, first fold the fabric over along the lengthwise grain. Place the cut back bib over the folded fabric. Ensure that it has the same width. Make sure the neckline cut edge is at a right angle to the fold. Now cut along the back neckline. Remove the body piece and mark 1 inch parallel to the neckline and cut the fabric along the drafted lines. Then place the cut front bib over the folded fabric. Make sure the neckline cut edge is at a right angle to the fold. Now cut along the front neckline. Remove the body piece and mark 1 inch parallel to the neckline. Then cut along the drafted lines. Thus we have finished cutting the fabric for the front and back neckline facing. In this session we have marked and cut fabric pieces for making a pinafore bib. Before we conclude, let's take a look at the key steps involved in marking and cutting the pattern of pinafore bib on fabric. They are: Step 1. Mark the pattern of pinafore bib on fabric. Step 2. Cut along the drafted lines and back neck opening to get the back bib piece. Step 3. Snip a little corner off at the waistline fold of the back bib piece. Step 4. Trace the pattern of the back bib piece again. Step 5. Cut along the drafted lines and front neck opening to get the front bib piece. Step 6. Snip a little corner off at the waistline fold of the front bib piece. Step 7. Cut the fabric for the front and back neckline facing. With that, we have come to the end of this session.